You're driving yourself sick. Please, at least try to eat a little. No, I'm not sick. You is. You is sick. You is the one who needs help. Hello everyone, my name is Karma, and today we are playing a visual novel called Hydrangea. It is a yandere visual novel based off Hanahaki syndrome. If you don't know what that is, basically Hanahaki syndrome is a fictional disease where one person is experiencing one-sided love and they cough up flower petals, something like that, and eventually if the person does not return their love, they can die, blah blah blah. Cool stuff, but just a little context before we get in. So there are 4 endings. I want to try to get them all, and yeah, so let's just go ahead and dive in. This story is fiction, but the feelings expressed in it are not. Remember, there is a human being behind the words you read. Okay, that sounds a little ominous, but I'm ready. Okay, I got the flowers. There's no need to be nervous. As I walked up to the 4th floor of my local hospital's East Ward, I was greeted by the sight of a mostly empty hallway. The weight of the flowers in my hands did little to alleviate the knot of nervousness tightening in my stomach. My sweetheart recently fell ill with a rare disease. I've been coming to visit every day since the day of hospitalization. Hospitals are not fun places. I'm still not used to walking around here. It feels as if I'm invading someone's home. Excuse me, who are you? Are you visiting someone? A nurse exiting one of the rooms raised an eyebrow as she spotted me nervously walking around. I took a deep breath, attempting to steady my nerves. Sorry, my name is... Oh, I guess I can change my name. Nice. Okay, well, I'm Karma. I'm she, her. Confirm. Okay, and this, I guess, is my sweetheart. We'll just leave it. We'll make him a man and leave the name, whatever, sure. I don't know what to name him, so... Alright, continue. Oh, Karma, you was staying at room 402, right over here. With a nod, she gestured towards the room, granting me permission to enter. Entering the room, the stark contrast between the dull tones of the hallway and the vibrant hues within made my smile bloom. The early morning filtered through the curtains, casting a glow upon the surroundings. Thank you for coming to see me again, Karma. You greeted me warmly, a smile dancing on his lips as he waved from the comfort of his bed. I carefully arranged the small bouquet of hydrangeas, his favorite flower, into the vase beside his bed. Of course. How are you feeling, you? You forced a weak smile. His features were looking less pale than the last time I came to visit. The room adorned with flowers and gifts exuded a warmth that seemed to be working wonders for his recovery. And if the empty food tray on his lap tells the truth, then you has recovered his appetite as well. I can't stand being in here for a second longer. You lamented with a hint of sadness, casting a disdainful glance at the thin sheets covering his body. Every day it's the same thing. Tests and more tests. Experts that come to examine me like I'm some sort of exhibition at a zoo. I love the little coughing sound effects. As you spoke, a sudden fit of coughing seized him and petals of flowers scattered in the air. The coughing's not gone? It's okay, don't worry. You reassured me, wiping away the flower petals that clung to his face, and once again he summoned a weak smile. I know it'll go away soon. You've not been able to leave the hospital at all ever since the symptoms first began. With you by my side, Karma, it was the only... What? It was the only yesterday? Okay, I was confused. I thought I read it wrong, but I guess this was just a little bit of a typo here. It was only yesterday that the hospital staff was able to confirm a diagnosis. I feel like I can do anything. You. I must stay by his side no matter what. Through every exam and medication or procedure, until he can leave the hospital and go back to normal life. After all, Karma, you love me, don't you? Of course I do. I love you too. It's my fault that he's sick, because I was foolish enough to doubt him. And now he's here, being poked and prodded, suffering through unimaginable pain. It's my fault. I'm sorry, you. I'm sorry. Please, don't be sad. But even though I'm an idiot, you accepts me and comforts me. You's the one who cannot leave his bed, yet here I am, holding back the tears threatening to spill down my cheeks. Shh, there, it'll be alright. You held my hand close to his chest and patted it softly as he whispered reassurances. This is a charm my mom would do to me and my siblings when we were anxious. Oh, I guess I accidentally skipped a dialogue line. In the midst of this vulnerability, you maintained a gentle expression. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. An endlessly kind and understanding person like him still gazes at me with such affection. He stroked my hand half a dozen times and then pressed his lips against my palm. There you go. All your anxieties are fading away. I took it all out. You feel lighter now, don't you? As soon as he said that, I found myself letting out a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. The air feels clearer. See? The charm never fails. Just being with him is a blessing. The sun's setting. I have to leave or the nurses will kick me out again. Karma? Alright, I guess let's go ahead and save. This is where the first choice comes. In these games, when I'm trying to get multiple endings, I save as many times as possible. Sure, lean in. Karma? I can't leave you without a goodbye kiss. Can I kiss you? You blushed red like a strawberry, looking everywhere but me. What if it's contagious? He brought his hand up to his face, covering his cheeks and shaking his head back and forth. I don't care. You should. It's always been so easy to make you blush. He's cute in a way that makes me want to protect him. The desire to take his hands away from his face and share a kiss intensified. Okay, that's alright. If I'm too pushy, you will run away, like a deer. A very adorable one. We've been taking things slowly. It's still new, this relationship. See you, Karma. Yeah, bye-bye. I approached the door, its hinges creaking softly as it swung open. Turning back one last time, my gaze lingered on you, who offered a smile. He waved. Bye-bye. I'll be okay. The medicine's helping tons. Let me know what you learn in class and teach it to me when you come back. Okay? A nod of agreement passed between us, and I mouthed an apology. Bye. Okay, then. So there's 4 different endings, and I'm assuming we have multiple ways we can go about this. One, we can be super caring and, like, nice to him and love him. Or I guess the second route I would think would be being very cold and dismissive. But I'm not sure what the third and fourth would be, so I guess we'll figure it out as we go. Hey, did you hear about the patient at room 402 over at the East Wing? The one with the rare illness? That's it. Everyone's at the attendance lounge. Oh, everyone at the attendance lounge is talking about it. Excuse me. I bumped past the noisy staff blocking my way to the hospital's cafeteria. For some reason, I'm like struggling to read all of a sudden. If there's one thing that I've learned those past days I've been going to and from this facility, it's that there's no end to the gossip. A lot of what I overhear is from this very place. While waiting for their turn in line, doctors and nurses alike seem to be unable to keep to themselves. Doctor-patient confidentiality is dead in this building. Do you think it's the person who's been I quickly plopped down a lackluster meal of mashed potatoes and an old hamburger onto my plate. Hospital food is completely tasteless. Those bleak white walls manage to drain every bit of flavor from the ingredients in each meal. Not like I've had much of an appetite lately. To my shame, I didn't believe Yu's claim of the diagnosis at first. The very concept of such a bizarre illness existing outside of the world of fiction sounded bizarre and even unscientific. Until I heard it from the several doctors looking after him with my own ears, I've hurt you over and over again. That fact swims and swirls around my brain, over and over in an endless loop that weighs down my shoulders and sends a searing pain through my chest. It's all my fault. I'm the one who did this to him. Hey, are you not eating that? A voice interrupted my self-reflection, pulling me back to the present. I looked up rapidly at the source of the voice that had called out to me. For a single moment, I thought I was seeing things. My friend's name is... Okay, I guess this is... You have, like, your sweetheart, and then the other one becomes your friend. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the name as default, Yua, I guess. So, you is the boyfriend, Yua is the friend, sure. But what I thought had half a second between where my brain and my eyes managed to connect. Of course, it was impossible. Karma, what was the last time you had a proper meal? It was not you that stood before me, but a sibling. Oh! Makes sense, sibling. Still wearing their school uniform. I don't understand why they're here. I'm fine, Yua. You're driving yourself sick. Please, at least try to eat a little. No, I'm not sick. You is. You is sick. You is the one who needs help. Do you think you would want you to starve yourself? I remained silent. Yua sat down in front of me, pointing sternly at the messy goop that was the cafeteria's attempt at a portion of mashed potatoes. Yua's always been like this, ever since I first met them and you. But now their usual behavior infuriated me. Why haven't you visited you? The hamburger's pretty good once you get to the tomatoes. Try it. They ignored my question. The person at the reception desk told me that I'm the only one who's come to see him today. Right. The part-time job excuse is not gonna work this time. I know words. I know very well that today is one of Yua's free days. What are you doing here? Showing concern for me, yet none at all for their brother. If it were my family, I would not be leaving Yu's side for even a second. There's also their father, who hasn't been there either. It makes no sense. Karma, how much have you researched about the illness? They asked, finally meeting my eyes. Why do you ask? Do you care at all? We were close, you and I. It was thanks to them that I was able to confess my feelings to you, and with their support, we began to go out. But now looking at them, I feel that our relationship has become one lower than strangers. The days where I considered them my closest friend feel like another lifetime. The anger that simmered within me traveled from my chest to my fingers. Karma. What the heck? Unable to control myself, I banged both my hands on the table. Yua recoiled. The impact sent some of my food spilling onto the table. I grimaced. It was not my intention to create a scene. I'm not speaking to you until you apologize to you. My voice shook, my hands clenched into fists, longed to grab and shake Yua's shoulders until they realized the gravity of the situation. It was a need so guttural, so raw. Okay, I guess here's another option, so let's save again. Return. Unable to contain myself, I grabbed their shoulders. Okay, well, if this route I'm trying to go the, very caring, compassionate, I guess I feel like the top one might be the option. I'm gonna grab their shoulders. I got up and grabbed Yua's shoulders, forcing them to look straight at me. What are you doing here? You and your family, when we met, they got along just fine. And why are you ignoring you? The least you could do is... Uh-oh. Yua's shoulders began to shake in my hands. I'd never seen them with such an expression on their face. Their eyebrows pulled up together, eyes wide, paralyzed to the spot. Let me go. Taken aback by their unexpected reaction, I immediately let go. Karma, never do that again. I started to say, attempting an apology, but the words caught in my throat. The lingering anger I felt towards Yua stifled any attempt to express remorse. Yua shook their head, breaking eye contact and looking down at the remains of my meal on the table. Eat. Try to eat. You need it. I'm leaving. Karma. Dang, okay, well, interesting. Yua's gaze never left my back as I walked away. I ignored it. The building's exit was right nearby and I made my way towards it. Somehow, my feet, heavy with guilt and regret, brought me to the hospital's exit. I understand now what's really important to me. You. If I had realized this before, you wouldn't have gotten so ill. Everything else, the trivial concerns that had preoccupied my mind, paled in comparison. It all comes second to his happiness. Okay then. The following day arrived. A sense of urgency propelled me to use room as soon as the hospital's regulations permitted. Hi there, came to see him again? Upon my arrival, the same nurse from the previous day greeted me with a warm smile. Yeah. The nurse helpfully opened the door for me. Come visit, won't come visit, come visit, won't come visit. Today, Yu wasn't finishing a meal like last time. Instead, I spotted him plucking the petals off of one of many flowers he'd been gifted. Hey, you really like your fortune-telling charms, huh? I ventured into the room, breaking the cadence of Yu's ritual. Karma, don't spook me like that. Unbeknownst to him, I'd already taken the liberty of arranging the new bouquet of hydrangeas in a vase. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. Yu carefully set down the flower, shaking his head. I can't help it. It's the only thing that calms me down. Fortune-telling has always been Yu's chosen way of calming his nerves. He likes it a lot. You told me that they aren't always correct, though. Yes, on the day we started going out, my flower fortune-telling had told me it wouldn't work out. Even if the result is bad, I'll feel calmer, because I know what to prepare for. It's not the results I care about, it's more the relief it gives me. The sincerity in his words resonated with me, prompting a soft chuckle. You were prepared for me to not like you back? Yeah, that very morning I wrote down a script of how I would react, so I wouldn't start crying right away. Aw, poor guy. Cute. Yua was so annoyed. They had to convince me to leave the script at home and be myself. The mention of Yua's name made my smile falter. They didn't want me to say it out loud, but you noticed the change immediately. He leaned in closer. Are you still fighting with Yua? I didn't want to bring this up. Yu's going through enough already. I shouldn't rub in his... Oh, another typo. There's a couple, grammatical mistakes as I'm reading it. It sometimes trips up my words. I shouldn't rub in his face how his family doesn't care enough to visit. I'm assuming they just missed the word face here. So occasionally I'll be reading and it just breaks the flow because I get confused. Anyways, I guess. I shrugged. Bonk. A gentle impact on my head jolted me, courtesy of you wielding the remains of the flower he had been plucking. Hey! I protested, rubbing the spot where the floral assault had landed. You can't fight, you're best friends. But they haven't been visiting you, I'm upset, aren't you? Bonk bonk? No bonking, Karma. I laughed at his clumsy attempt to call me out, but Yu wasn't finding it very funny. You need to make up with Yua. It's not right that you're still not talking. But... Please... Please, Karma. Please... Alright, and then another save, because you never know what choice is going to be the one that changes everything. Okay, I'll talk to them. Fine, for you. When Yu makes a request with those big puppy dog eyes, I can't say no. We don't know what's going on in their head, and knowing my sibling, they're worried about things they shouldn't be thinking about. When I get out of here, I want things to be just like they were before. Including the three of us hanging out and laughing together like family. We were close. I considered them my best friend, and that's the truth. Yesterday I was so angry that fact didn't move me at all, but now, I understand. I should apologize. I wasn't nice to them at the cafeteria. You and their father must have their own circumstances. I'm glad you agree. It's thanks to you that I can see that now. He's my angel. I can't believe I ever thought otherwise. Do you love me, Karma? Of course I do. I love you too, so much. This ritual that we do of confirming the love we hold for each other, I believe it's helping you symptoms, steadily getting better with each visit. I can see it from his complexion. The colors returning to his cheeks day by day. That's why I have to keep going. Even if I miss out on some sleep or homework or class, that's not important. Little by little, I'll build back the trust I took away from you. Well, good for you. After the heartfelt conversation with you, I bid my goodbyes for the moment. Alright, is this the next day, or... Uh-oh. Cough, cough, cough. Why? Is he getting worse? I'm confused. I thought he was getting better. Okay, then. Hey, are you not eating that? This time I didn't bother to head to the cafeteria. Instead, I found myself following a particularly rowdy group of patients up the emergency stairs to the rooftop. I had no idea this place was accessible at all, or that patients were allowed here. Although decorated with plants and seating furniture, the tall barriers all over the edges of the roofing spoke a story. I chose to not ponder too much of it. The patients heading over were, of course, looking for a place to smoke. I see nothing but smokers up here, patients in hospital gowns and what I assume are their visiting families. Still, I already prefer this place to the cafeteria. No gossiping staff. I can handle the stench. Oh my god. Among the smokers, I spotted... Oh, it's you again. Yu's twin, caught red-handed with a lighter on their hands. I approached them with a questioning glance. Really? With your uniform on? I knew they smoked. It was a badly kept secret. The response came with a nonchalant shrug. We're graduating at the end of the year, it's fine. But smoking in public with our uniform on is just asking for trouble. I need to say something. You, by the way, convinced me to make up with you. Yu's eyes widened in surprise, and a flicker of sadness appeared on their face. You did? It wasn't something you thought of yourself? The reaction wasn't what I expected. Do you not want to make up with me? No, I don't want to fight with you. I'd like everything to go back to normal. That's what you wants too. Something went on between them and they're not speaking, but they're twins. Yua scoffed, diverting their gaze away from me and fixating it upon the sky. Despite brother's severe health issues, Yua maintained an outward calmness devoid of any overt anger or profound distress. I've never seen them raise their voice, or cry. They're the complete opposite to the sensitive Yu in that way. Yu, who has trouble studying and tearfully asks for help before tests. He's too cute for anyone to get mad at, though. I can send you my notes from class. You've missed a lot. Thanks. I'm serious, Karma. You're not gonna do well on your finals if you don't get it together. You shouldn't let go of everything else in your life to take care of you. Yua cautioned, a furrow forming on their forehead. I'll be fine if you teach me. Yua has some of the best grades in our entire year. It's rare to not see them with a textbook in hand. A hopeful grin tugged at my lips. A couple study sessions with you and I'll be all good. For the first time since Yu's hospitalization, Yua smiled. I can't do miracles, bud. Even if I ask real nicely? You can't pull that on me. I grew up with Yu's expert begging techniques. Real nicely. A small grin played on their face. Shut up. They rolled their eyes, smirking. I'm gonna come back stronger than ever with your grades rubbing off on me. I'd like to think my genius is contagious. Yua replied, pretending to examine their nails with mock arrogance. Our usual back and forth. For that moment, where we both laughed out loud, it was as if the awkwardness from our previous encounter had dissolved into the air. The only thing missing from this is you quietly giggling along next to a sibling. I really, really hope that we'll have the chance to hang out like this, all three of us, for a long time to come. Oh lord, that was some really loud thunder outside. Sorry, while I'm recording this, it is storming really freaking bad. I don't know if it will pick up on the mic, but that actually physically made me jump. It scared me so bad from how loud it was. Oh, okay, well, way to rip me out of the game. Alright, we'll continue though. Karma, answer me something honestly. Yeah? You would turn to me. Are you sure that you still like you that way? The question caught me off guard. I hesitated, my mind racing to articulate a response. Alright, save again. Remember, we are going the route where we are very in love. I do love him, silly. Our love is real. It's mutual. Yu's recovering a little bit more every single day. You'd know that if you saw him once or twice. I emphasized that last part with a playful jab at Yua's shoulder. I'm not mad anymore, but I still want them to see you. It'll be good for both of them. Have you two talked about the breakup since that time? Uh-oh. A hushed silence fell over me. Karma. You uttered my name with a gentle yet firm tone. I haven't. I confessed, my voice barely above a whisper. You should talk to you about it. Get your feelings about that sorted out. Don't let it linger for too long. Your well-being matters too. I don't think that's a good idea. You will get upset again, and it might worsen the symptoms. Conflicting emotions tugged at me. On one hand, the concern for Yu's well-being was paramount. On the other, the undeniable truth that Yu cared deeply for Yu and wanted the best for him. Alright, save again. Okay, these seem like the more important decisions here. Oh man. I don't want to bring it up. Frankly, I wish I'd never attempted to break up with you at all. It was a mistake. If it were up to me, I'd rather pretend it never happened. That way I'll never hurt you again. I can't. Please, Karma, at least give it a try. If not for you, do it for you. You is a point. Leaving things unsaid is not good for either of us. I'll try. I'll think about it. You will? I don't want to look back on that day. Yeah, I'll try, okay? I will. Every time I think of it, I feel ashamed, upset, and guilty. Alright, I'll trust you. It's my fault you was sick. I want to try to make it better. Maybe Yu's advice is what I need. I guess we'll find out. Yu and I spent a quiet time together until we went our separate ways. The fluorescent-lit corridor stretched out endlessly as I made my way towards Yu's room. The usual hustle and bustle of the hospital words hushed to a mere whisper, leaving only the rhythmic beat of my own heart in my ears. As I arrived at the door marked with Yu's room number, I hesitated, my hand hovering over the handle. I'm nervous. On my way here, I'd mentally rehearsed the words that needed to be spoken. I'm afraid of what could happen if I said them out loud, yet I know I have to. With a deep breath, I entered the room. As I pushed open the door, a warm smile greeted me. Karma, you're back! A knot of worry tightened in my stomach. One of my concerns lingered in the back of my mind. The fear that by delving into the past, I might inadvertently stir up resentment or anger in you. The weight of responsibility pressed upon me. His dad hasn't been coming by, and neither has Yua. If not for me, you could get lonely. Did your friends from the club come by while I was away? But just by looking around his room, my fears are sated. Yeah, the music teacher came too. You just missed them. The get well soon balloons, the presents, and the letters I helped put up on the walls. They're all proof that you was people by his side. I've been so consumed by guilt, I wasn't able to see that. You was very loved, by many people. How's the club doing without you? We don't have any performances coming up until the end of the year, so they told me I don't have to worry about it, and I should focus on getting better. You reassured me, his eyes glancing over a stack of letters that had accumulated during his absence. Among them, one particular letter caught my attention, adorned with a whimsical hand-drawn piano. It's sweet. From what you has told me, the orchestra club is tight-knit. Seeming to be thinking the same as me, you smiled warmly. At the contest we went to last year, I was shocked at how competitive the other school's clubs were. The club members bickered and argued with each other a lot, too. Our club is totally different. Everyone's really nice and chill. Their visits and gifts are proof of that. You and I chatted and laughed for some time. Seeing him so chipper and healthy looking, my remaining fears about the conversation we needed to have disappeared quickly. I have to do this. I wanted to talk to you about something. Yeah, what is it, Karma? I exhaled a nervous breath. I don't know what Yu's reaction to what I'm about to say will be, but you can tell me anything, Karma. We have to talk about it. We can't pretend it never happened. I've been thinking that we should talk about what happened that day. I looked into Yu's eyes, hoping to find a hint of understanding. What day? When we were alone, back at our classroom. When we talked about breaking up. The atmosphere in the room shifted. A moment of silence lingered. And then... Oh no. Oh god, of course his symptoms are gonna get worse. No, dude. Oh man, he's coughing so much he's gonna freaking die. You? The sudden onslaught of coughs echoed through the room, each one more intense than the last. As each cough racked Yu's frail form, dozens of delicate flower petals fluttered from his lips. Yu heaved and beat on his chest, struggling for breath. I feel cold. His shoulders shook as he held on to the thin bedsheets of the bed. Quickly, the color left his face, pale, shaking, exactly the way Yu was that day at the classroom. Why is this happening? I thought you were getting better. Frantically, I moved to reach for the call button. Ruh-roh. You know why. You're making me like this. You grabbed my shoulder, forcefully pulling me back to the bed. Staring straight into my eyes, he heaved. People die of this sickness. Last year, about a dozen. Dropped dead, stuck to tubes and machines in an empty hospital room. Close to him like this, the flower petals stuck to his mouth and chin were as clear as day. Purple hydrangeas, exactly like the ones I gave him earlier today. And the previous day, and the previous. Because the ones they loved abandoned them. Because the ones they loved didn't care enough to love them back. That's not true. I care about you. I care about you more than... Because the ones they loved had evil, harmful thoughts like that in mind. Breaking up. Why would you break with me now? Do you want me to? I didn't say anything about... That's not what I meant. You sobbed. You did. You said you want to break up again. I thought back to what I had said moments ago. No, that's not what All I did was ask him how he felt about what happened. Ugh, you don't love me. Yu's tears broke my heart. I should have never brought up the subject at all. I love you, please don't cry. I wanted to call out the fact that he misunderstood me, but his tears at the thought that I don't love her... Oh, huh? Okay, well they messed up the pronouns here. but his tears at the thought that I don't love her back. Okay, well, I guess that was a mix-up, but anyways, I'm sorry to break up the tense moment. Continue. Liar, liar, liar. You said you wanted to leave me. No, you. I love you. I love you. I love you. If Yu doesn't believe our love is mutual, will his condition get worse? Will he end up like those people who had this disease? Well, he... Nobody loves me. I'm all alone, Karma. Yue hates me, my dad hasn't even called, and my friends are liars. Liars? But they gave you all those presents. And the letters. Yu's tear-streaked face turned towards me. They're lying. They don't like me. Even before I got here, they said it. They said it. They don't understand me at all. Not like you do. You're the only one who gets me, Karma. The sound of Yu's anguish filled the room, a heartbreaking wail that cut through the air. I sat by Yu's side, my hand resting on his shoulder. No matter how much I tried to offer words of comfort, he would not stop crying. Dude, this man is so manipulative. It reached the point where I found myself about to cry as well. I didn't know what to do. What's going on here? The door behind us creaked open and someone came in. You, sweetie, calm down. The nurse ran to Yu's side. I don't know what... He won't... You've done enough. Please leave. She gazed at me sternly. I don't want to leave you like this, but I don't... Karma hates me. Man, so manipulative, dude. I am not a monster. Like, just the way he instantly is like, oh, well, no one loves me. You're the only one that loves me. Like, if you leave me, I'm gonna die. Like, bro, that sounds a little gaslighty and, like, manipulative, you know? Despite the growing number of hospital staff rushing in to assist, the distress escalated. More nurses and doctors entered the room. The nurse's stern gaze lingered on me, a directive to step back and allow the professionals to take charge. Cough, cough, cough. Reluctantly, I retreated. Well, this is going terribly. Yua's advice was terrible. What I was doing was perfect. Yu was getting better. We're better off looking after and listening to each other, without anyone getting in between. I was wrong. I'm the only one Yu has. We'd always been classmates. Our friend groups were different. We didn't have any interests in common. For a long time, Yu and Yu were familiar names I heard mostly during morning roll call. Where is it? In a rainy day in early April, we met. I'd forgotten the keychain of one of my friends had given me as a souvenir from one of their trips. It was a silly, somewhat messy-looking duck keychain made of cheap material. The colors were already fading off after a few days of use. Cute! I did a double take as I approached my desk. Paralyzed at the spot, I wondered how to approach the person who was now holding my lost keychain. I knew Yu as the smart, cool, and quiet person who was infamous for making our classmates cry. Not because they were mean, but because they'd rejected numerous confession attempts. I suppose there was something attractive about their mysterious character. I couldn't see it. I've never seen a yellow one with a purple beak before. So cute, colorful. Yua continued to inspect the duck keychain in their hands, smiling gently. It was a surreal sight. This was the same person who was infamous for being a cool, collected heartbreaker. Giggling over a duck. I mustered the courage to speak up, breaking the silence that hung between us. Hey, Yua? That's mine. I must have dropped it. Thanks for finding it. Yua looked up, their expression shifting from amusement to shock. Since when have you been there? Since the, giggling? She's so stunned. The woman was too stunned to speak. Yua put their hands on their face and made a bizarre noise. Sorry? When they took their hands out, I could see a flush of pink on their cheeks. The ducks. I just appreciated the diversity in the animal kingdom, that's all. Ducks happen to be part of it. I couldn't help but find Yua's discomfort endearing. I'd stumbled upon a secret they'd never intended to share. You know, it's just one of those things. Ducks have their charm. Do you have, like, a favorite duck? What ducks? Yua, we have to get going. What? And that's when you appeared. Another duck keychain? Don't you already have like 2 dozen at home? You shut up. Dozens? That's quite the collection you've got going. Shut up. You made a duck friend, Yua? Stop it. You've said too much. Did you talk about how our bathtub is full of plastic? I'll kill you. Oh my god, she really loves ducks. As they delved deeper into the banter, it became clear that Yua was indeed a closeted duck enthusiast despite their attempts to downplay it. Back then, Yua was much more shy and would stutter and blush over every single thing. The confidence Yua has today is something he seemed to have built slowly as the seasons passed that year. Yua was my new friend's brother. Our relationship was nothing special. But when Yua finally turned to me, his first words were puzzling. Beef stroganoff. Beef stroganoff. Excuse me? Don't mind him. That's just a thing Yua does for luck. The room seemed to brighten as our eyes finally locked and his lips parted to utter another enigmatic phrase. Honey syrup pancakes. You blurted out another seemingly random phrase and Yua sighed. And to unsuccessfully disguise his embarrassment, Yua poked Yua's cheeks, rolling their eyes. Saying the name of food Yua likes when talking to new people was something he did a lot, even to cashiers and teachers. Watching the twins bicker, I felt like I could get along with him. Oi, what are you laughing at? Sorry, I didn't mean to. Yua was also protective of you. Those first couple conversations we had, it felt like they were testing me. Don't laugh at me. Yua stammered, his cheeks flushed with embarrassment. Sorry, I just thought, that is, you're cute. Oh, his expression completely 180'd. Breathe, you, breathe. According to Yua, you fell for me that day. Didn't mean to tease you. It's okay. I don't know what he saw in me during that interaction, but I can't say I was interested in the siblings. From that day on, you and I began to talk a lot, mostly about their beloved ducks. Soon, you started to join our little circle too. To think it all started with a cheap knockoff keychain. After getting kicked out of the room, I wandered around until I found myself at the hospital's cafeteria. My appetite was non-existent. A heavy weight of guilt settled in my stomach, making even the thought of food unappealing. I walked to the food counter, but didn't pick up a tray. Everything looked bland and unappetizing. What are you getting today? Turning, I saw Yua approaching me with a tray in hand. They looked me up and down, frowning. Are you okay? I nodded, but my attempt at reassurance fell flat. I'm not hungry, I guess. Dejected and lacking any will or energy to stay in line, I sat down by the usual table. Yua followed me after, their footsteps echoing softly against the floor. They settled into the seat in front of me, an empty tray still in their hands. Your advice was not helpful. I couldn't hide my annoyance. What? Doing what Yua suggested before was the biggest mistake I could have made. I'll help you by doing what I've been doing from the start. Yua's getting better. It's my fault that his health took a turn. Karma, you're taking on too much. What are your friends saying about you coming here every day? I brushed off their concerns with a dismissive wave of my hand. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. My dismissive response triggered a reaction in Yua, their eyebrows knitting together. No one else needs to be involved. You and I are fine by ourselves. I insisted, my voice hollow with resignation. I'm tired. Haven't slept a wink. Forget it. I don't want to talk to Yua. Karma, you haven't been coming to class. You're not responding to any of our friends' texts. And you refuse to speak to me. Yua's eyes searched mine for any glimmer of understanding. Don't you see how you're isolating yourself? Please, tell me what happened yesterday. I sighed. Yua will not let this go until I tell them everything. That's the kind of person they are. Reluctantly, I relented. Fine. I explained to them what happened yesterday. Yua listened intently, nodding and humming along as I told them every single thing you and I said to each other. It's easy for me to remember exactly how it went last night. I kept reliving that moment over and over, trying to understand where was it that I went wrong. After I was finished, Yua looked up at me. Without uttering a single word, they shook their head and sighed. Yua's accusing me of trying to break up with him again. I grimaced. The first time I tried to do that, I actually went to Yua for help. They helped me come to a decision. But this time you never said you wanted to break up. No. He didn't even let you get a word in, right? That's exactly it. You cried so much I was afraid of making it worse. It wouldn't have happened if I'd kept my mouth shut. If I'd just left things the way they were, you wouldn't have started coughing like that again. It all started when I had the bright idea of talking about our relationship that day. Everything was fine. Then, again, yesterday, I tried to do the same. Everything was great. Everything. But because of me, he's sick. Again. While watching me mutter to myself, Yua finally put their tray down. They placed their hand firmly on the table, bringing attention back to them. Speaking as a third party, it sounds like you might have manipulated you back there. Thank you! Finally someone sees reason. Caught off guard, I blinked. Once, then twice. Confusion etched across my features. I stammered. What? Undeterred by my bewilderment, Yua continued. That's what it sounds like to me. He talked about how nice and supportive the orchestra club is, but the moment you brought up the subject of a breakup, suddenly they're mean. The way he brought up the possibility of dying and implied it would be your fault sounds like guilting you into staying. Finally, a character that actually has common sense and reasoning. Yes, call him out on his gaslighting behaviors. You go, girl. Slay, queen. But... And most importantly, he accused you of saying things you didn't say. I took a deep breath, biting my lower lips. That's important, Karma. You know what you did and didn't say. Think about it. You all leaned back, their gaze unwavering, awaiting my response. Alright, well then we'll save again real quick. Oh, if it'll let me. Save. What matters is the use. Feelings were hurt. You're right. I really didn't imply that I wanted to break up. Okay, so this also, I can tell this is going to be a very big decision-making thing. So, I was going to go for the all for you thing, but you know what? He is manipulative, so I'm gonna side with her. You're right. I really didn't imply that I wanted to break up. Did it feel like you put words in your mouth? You moved their hands away from the table. And for a second, I thought they were going to lean in to touch me. They hesitated, instead placing their hands on their lap. You don't have to carry this burden alone. Friendship means being there for each other, especially in the tough times. You don't have to face this alone, I've got your back. Hearing such sentimental things, I almost wondered if this really was Yule who was speaking. They were never one to be honest about their feelings, or speak aloud about friendship and bonds. It was a touching sentiment, especially coming from them. Yua, but there was still something bothering me. Yua wants to share my burdens regarding you, but at the same time, they... Alright, we have a lot of save options here. Alright, page 2, save. I know it's upsetting, but I need to know why you won't see you. Okay, I'm not sure what to pick here. I've learned to keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna ask why she doesn't want to see you. Did they get in a fight? Yua, can I ask why you don't want to see you? Yua took a moment to collect their thoughts, their gaze momentarily distant. Seeing you like that, it's bringing back some difficult memories. Wait, has this happened before? For me and my father. Yua had a family member hospitalized before. You don't want to talk about it. It's tough. That must be it. The reluctance to confront you wasn't merely about personal discomfort, but was rooted in a painful past. Stupid people who make their partners cry should think twice before they speak. Yua will tell me when they want to, not a second earlier. I have to see you. Yua tilted their head. You have to? Or you want to? Gritting my teeth, I realized I had no response to that. Ooh, rest in peace. Alright, things are getting tense, y'all. And of course he's gonna act like nothing ever happened. Karma, you came! I stood before you, my heart heavy with remorse. Hi, Hugh, I'm sorry. My words faltered, guilt gnawed at my insides. I felt terrible, guilty. Hugh shook his head and reached out to grasp my hands. No, let's not talk about it. It's better that we don't talk about yesterday. Nodding in agreement, I struggled to meet Yu's gaze, the weight of my own inadequacies bearing down on me like a heavy object on my shoulders. Right. You're right. All I do is hurt him. I shouldn't talk at all. I got you something. Please take it. In an attempt to bridge the gap, Yu diverted the conversation with a small gesture of kindness. He reached over to the nightstand next to his bed and showed me a hairpin. Take it with you. Me? But it's yours, isn't it? And isn't a gift from one of his clubmates too? It's a thank you for always coming to see me. Plus, what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. But you... Take it. With a hesitant nod, I accepted the offering, my fingers trembling as I reached out to take the hairpin you offered. Oh, and this too. Delving beneath the bedsheets, he retrieved some lined paper and handed it to me. What's this? I did some fortune telling this morning, and the flowers told me some really important things. He told me that I should write down my feelings and let you read them. It's a gift. Please read it after you leave. Can't I read it now? No, it's embarrassing. You can't. I'm reading it. No, no, no. Cute. Look, he's so cute. Yua was overreacting after all. Yu isn't that kind of person. He's too innocent and cute. And it's okay. After what I did to him, I got what I deserve. Okay, I'll read it when I get home. Promise? I squeezed Yu's hands and smiled. Promise. Yu giggled quietly, his gaze dropping shyly to the floor, a soft smile playing at the corners of his lips. A few seconds of comfortable silence went by. It'd be fine staying here with you for a long time, just enjoying his company. I'm happy Yu doesn't want to talk about yesterday. It's better this way. Perhaps some things are better left unspoken. Then he let out another giggle. You know, I don't need anyone else but you. Yu moved his hand from mine, instead placing it on my cheek. I recoiled instinctively, but immediately apologized and moved to accept the touch. The more I think about it, the more I understand. You and I are meant to be. We're fated soulmates. Another giggle escaped his lips, and Yu tilted his head, stroking my cheek up and down. And that's why I can't stop thinking about you. Uh-oh, I don't like the music change. You're everything I think about. I want to spend every waking moment next to you. His other hand reached to touch my shoulder. I dream of you. Every night I see your face, and it's the only thing that makes my dreams worth having. His hand, cold as ice, reached out to touch my shoulder, sending a shiver down my spine. You. His hands are freezing, colder than they should be. As I thought, yesterday was terrible on his health. The symptoms are returning. I can't bear to be away from you for even a moment. It feels like an eternity. Every article and piece I read on this disease said the same thing. I must reciprocate his feelings. That's the only way for him to get better. Okay, so let's save. So I guess this is where we have to really make the choice of if we're going to, fall into his manipulation or not. Originally I said that I was gonna go, full you all the way. So I guess I'm gonna stick with that. And unfortunately, I gotta say, I feel the same way. When this is over, I started, my voice faltering as I struggled to mirror you. I want to go on dates with you and spend every second we have together. I tried my hardest to imitate his words of love. More intense. I have to feel the same way. I need to. I don't care about anyone else either. It's only you that I want to be around. And that's not true. I miss going to class. I miss hanging out with you after school. I'll come over every single day until we can leave together. I haven't slept. The thought of food makes me nauseous. Day and night I think about him. How unwell you is. How it's my fault. When I'm not thinking about that or visiting him, I'm reading about his diagnosis. I need you to get better. Karma. I love you, you. I have to love you the same way. Otherwise, he could die. In this hospital, alone, struggling to breathe. Coughing up his lungs with no cure in sight. It haunts me, that image. I can't live with that. Alright, well, we're playing into his trap, but it's okay. We'll make it through, we're strong. I observed as you took his hands away from me to adjust the arrangement of the hydrangea bouquet, fingers tracing the delicate petals. I love your presence, too. Sadly, it was getting late, and it started to rain, too. I had to go, lest the nurses came to kick me out again. Visiting hours are almost over. There was a fleeting moment of hesitation before you nodded, accepting the reality of the situation. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. You'll come tomorrow, right? And every day? Until I get all better? Of course. If you don't come, I'll be... No, don't get sicker, please. I'll come. I'll absolutely come, okay? Don't be sad. Man, this dude is so manipulative. You only has me. Okay. I believe in you. You leaned his head on my shoulder. A contented sigh escaped his lips. Then he looked up at me, his eyes glittering. Try not to mess up this time, sweetie. Use expectations were a heavy, suffocating blanket. I won't. Dude, he is a little psycho, not gonna lie. Visiting hours are over. Hey, Karma, did you hear me? Huh? Yeah, I'm leaving. Girl has some things to actually think about between now and next time she sees him. I exited the hospital alongside other visitors and staff. The afternoon sky stretched overhead, the fading remnants of the day's sunlight casting a golden glow. A sudden, sharp realization gripped me, freezing me in my tracks. I stood there, the bustling noise of the surroundings morphing into a distant hum. I fumbled through my pockets, rifling through the contents of my bag. I looked everywhere, but it was not there. No, 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 no! I forgot to take Yu's letter with me. The letter he specifically wrote for me while sick, that he took the time to write for me. A sense of dread clawed at my chest. You will be mad. You will be upset at me. You will. I can't breathe. You will cry and sob and say it's my fault, because it is my fault. It's my fault he's sick. What do? I can't go back to his room. Even if I did, he could get mad because I forgot it, and that means I don't care for him enough. Everything was alright when I left, but tomorrow it'll be awful again. The surroundings blurred. I couldn't hear anything other than heartbeat quickening with each spiraling thought. Everything that seemed alright moments ago now felt like a prelude to impending disaster. Tears welled up in my eyes, blurring my vision. A torrent of racing thoughts surged through my mind. Girl, this is not healthy. He's manipulated you so much. I deserve it. I deserve it for messing up again. Why can't I do anything right? I'm so useless. Every inhale felt inadequate. There's no air. We're outside, but there's no more air for me. I can't breathe. The weight on my chest intensified with a vice-like pressure that made it impossible to draw a full breath. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. It's suffocating. I can't breathe. 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 Oh god, I'm not gonna repeat all those I can't breathe. Karma. Karma, what's wrong? What did you do? You emerged into focus, but I can't breathe. Leave me alone. I can't hear them. Deep breaths. You're having... I don't need you. I snapped. I can't breathe. It's only you and I. Nobody else can help him. Karma, wait! I'm terrified of seeing you tomorrow. But I have to. One day, in the fading light of the afternoon, Yu and I decided to spend some time goofing off after school. We were eating some snacks Yu had bought from a vending machine. It was rare the three of us could be together this late in the day. Yu was plenty busy with his club activities most of the week. Yu mentioned something about him wanting to spend more time with me, but at the time, I thought they were kidding. White ducks, though. Can we not? Yua's cheeks flushed with embarrassment, and they shot a pleading glance at Yu, who laughed timidly. While Yu and I had created a friendship where I could tease them and be jabbed back with no hard feelings, Yu was still slowly coming out of his shell. I know why. He had something of a need to be accepted into any group, I noticed. I want to know. Always wanting that sense of belonging. It started as a joke. Our dad gifted Yu a plastic duck as a gag, and it just snowballed from there. You, hush. We can't use the bathtub anymore. It's plastic ducks all over. All over? Floating around, going quack, quack, quack. Ugh. The scene played in my mind. An unsuspecting Yu just wanting to relax with a bath, only to find that a comical amount of plastic ducks had taken over their bathroom. Don't laugh at me. I managed to gasp between fits of laughter, motioning at Yu. Why do you have so many ducks, buddy? It's a hobby. Everyone has one. Yu has his piano, and you have annoying the heck out of me. Oops. In my amusement, I laughed so hard that I accidentally dropped my food. In a futile attempt to salvage the situation, I reached out, but instead of preventing a mess, my actions directed the trajectory straight onto Yu, creating a chaos of saucy stains on his uniform. What? Oh god, I'm so sorry. You said it was alright, but the sauce-stained clothes told a different story. It's okay. I'll go to the bathroom and clean up. I really didn't mean for that to happen. I'm so sorry. It wasn't as bad as it is now, but I've always been sensitive to guilt, for lack of a better word. I felt tremendously guilty for ruining Yu's uniform that day. It's alright. After Yu rushed off to clean himself, Yua helped me collect the remains of the food that had fallen on the floor. As we bent down to tidy the mess, a subtle yet melancholic smile graced Yua's features, catching me off guard. Yu's like this now, but before, he protected me. Sorry, what? I was the one who needed help. Yua's sudden expression of vulnerability caught me off guard. So much so, I questioned if I was hearing things. What do you mean? Yua remained silent, their gaze fixed on the floor. It felt as if I repeated my question, I would hurt them. If I hurt others, then I'll feel horrible. I don't want to be bad. I don't want to hurt anyone. The last thing I wanted was to inflict pain upon Yua, or anyone else for that matter. I'm back! You returned not long after, breaking the heavy silence that had settled over us. Did you use water and soap? You were returned to their usual calm persona the moment their twin entered the room. Of course I did. You and you were changing, slowly but noticeably. We all change. We're young and still building our identities. I understand that. But until what point do the changes signify something good or... Karma! Are you not listening to me? I am. He changed. You keeps changing. Every single day here. I see. I matter this little to you. You'd rather think about other people, rather than hanging out with me. Bro, shut up with the manipulation! Words that cut deep into my soul. The exact ones I'm afraid of hearing. No. You know I love you. You're the only one for me. I'm at a loss for how to comfort you. Nothing I do is enough. Nothing I do is right. As the days go by, I feel like I can't say or do anything without first asking you if I should. Even things completely unrelated to him. I'm just going to turn my phone off. What? Your phone? Why? His tone growing increasingly agitated. I can see it coming. So, we can talk in peace. I don't like that face he's making. Who's messaging you? No one. I have to tiptoe around you, constantly second-guessing myself and seeking his approval. I should know when to speak and when to keep my mouth shut. Wrong answer. Stupid. Dumb. Selfish. Who's messaging you? The uncommon sound of you raising his voice to scream was quickly becoming an everyday noise. Just some friends. I'm not responding, I swear. Show me. You, I swear, You don't love me anymore, is that it? You don't love me? You found someone much better than me to chat with, and now you're going to leave me alone in this bed you put me in? You're so evil. You're evil, Karma. And this has nothing to do with that. Why are you so suspicious of me? How can you claim to love me if you don't trust me at all? I can't ask those questions. It'll only make him madder. I love you. I'm sorry. You can look at my messages. Dude, this is getting a little too real for me right now. Oh, I sympathize. Karma is me for real. I relented, my voice barely above a whisper. I just want everything to go back to how it was. I love you too. Turning off my phone was an attempt to carve out a semblance of control. But I couldn't do that without his permission. So in the end, I have no control at all. You briefly glanced through my messages. Each passing second felt like an eternity. I shouldn't argue anymore. There's no point. Damn. This low-key making my tummy hurt. It's trauma. Where should I spend my lunchtime? I don't know. Not like it matters. Every single day is the same. Okay, we have the option between the rooftop and the cafeteria. Yeah, let's save real quick. I think I'm gonna go to the rooftop. The air was thick with the acrid scent of cigarette smoke. I'm up here because I'm thinking maybe Yua will be here, and I feel like we need a friend after that. I don't know what I'm doing here. Yup, there she is. Yua was taking a smoke by the corner of the rooftop, away from everyone else. The gritty texture of the cinder walls pressed against my back as I leaned my head against them, sitting by Yua's side. The wisps of smoke curled upwards from the tip of their cigarette, which then dissipated into the darkness. I'd never stopped to look at Yua like this before. The way they smoke. Why do they do it? The sounds away from us seemed to be even further away. I could hear only the sound of our quiet breathing and the occasional flicker of the lighter as Yua played with it. Time seemed to stretch infinitely. Finally, as the last traces of smoke dissipated, Yua broke the silence. You know where the term gaslighting came from? Yua asked, their gaze fixed on the horizon. It's a term that dates back to a play, you know. Gaslight by Patrick Hamilton. I listened to Yua, but their words sounded far away. Hazy. Distant. The manipulator dims the gas lights in the house, but when confronted, they deny any change, making the victim question their own perception of reality. It's a tactic, a form of psychological manipulation designed to make someone doubt their own sanity. With a heavy sigh, Yua lowered themselves to sit next to me. Their voice was quiet, almost gentle. People can be adept at gaslighting without even realizing it. I've been irritated lately, a lot. I'm sick of Yua's implications and talking around the subject. Yu's not gaslighting or manipulating me. We love each other. We fight sometimes, but we always make up. It's burdensome. I'm tired. I'm always tired. I know. I've been hearing you talk about it for days. You always make up. You always reconcile and pretend nothing happened. I shifted uncomfortably against the rooftop's gritty surface, my gaze fixed to the floor. Karma, that's the third stage of the cycle of abuse. Yua's response was measured, almost detached, as if they were observing the situation from a distance. Oh, perhaps that's why they refuse to see you. Easier to watch than partake. Yua keeps using these words: abuse, manipulation, gaslighting, as if they're accurate to you and I. They're not. It's not what's going on at all. It's not that simple. Yua's sick. A knot tightened in my stomach. You and me both, girl. Things just get heated, and we find a way to make things right again. Yua regarded me with a steady gaze, their eyes boring into mine with an intensity that made me squirm. But does it really make things right? Or does it just create a temporary calm before the storm returns? Dude. It's close to home. Look, the cycle goes tension, incident, reconciliation, and calm. I shook my head, unwilling to let Yua pull me into their made-up story. Don't explain it, I don't need it. I moved to get up. As I pushed myself upright, my muscles protested with aching stiffness. The gritty texture of the rooftop surface scraped against the palms of my hands. Leave me alone. I turned away from Yua. I don't want to hear it. I just want everything to go back to how it was before. And it will. Yu just needs to get better. He will. I'll be here tomorrow too, you know. Whatever. Dang. Hitting us with some, heavy hitters. I lost track of time. I go to see you with a bouquet of hydrangeas. You cries and screams at me because I did something wrong again. I apologize and apologize and apologize until I can't breathe. Yua tries to convince me to eat. I'm not hungry. Go away. You gives me another gift. We're good now. Things are back to normal. We love each other. The next day I go see you with a bouquet of hydrangeas. You cries and screams at me because I did something wrong again. I apologize. You speaks about the past. I yearn for it. I tell them about a nightmare I had, where you dies in my arms and it's too late to call for help. I yearn for it. Go away. You gives me another gift. We're good now. Things are back to normal. We love each other. The next day, I go to see you with a bouquet of hydrangeas. My love isn't strong enough, so his health worsens. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yua tells me they can't do this anymore. Me neither. Me neither. There's the phase of reconciliation, They try to make amends, apologies, promise to change, or gestures like giving presents. Go away. You gives me another gift. We're good now. Things are back to normal. We love each other. I love you. I love you too. The next day I go to see you with a bouquet of hydrangeas. You didn't say you loved me yesterday. I didn't? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if you was right or not. He must be. I'm always in the wrong. It's my fault. Yua speaks as if they know everything about everything. Tension is the first stage. It's the buildup of stress and unease, the feeling that something is about to go wrong. Next is the incident. That's when things boil over. It could be an argument, a confrontation, any form of, leave me alone. You gives me another gift. We're good now. Things are back to normal. We love each other. I love you. I love you too. I said it this time. I should say it twice from now on so I never forget again. I go to see you with a bouquet of hydrangeas. You cries and screams at me because I did something wrong again. I apologize and apologize until I can't breathe. Yua tries to convince me to eat. I'm not hungry. Go away. You gives me another gift. We're good now. Things are back to normal. We love each other. The next day I go to see you with a bouquet of hydrangeas. You cries and screams because I did something wrong again. I apologize. Yua speaks about the past. I yearn for it. I tell them about a nightmare I had, where you dies in my arms and it's too late to call for help. I yearn for it. Go away. You gives me another gift. We're good now. Things are back to normal. We love each other. Is this actually repeating over and over again? Will this ever finish? It was just the same thing over and over and over. Oh my god. It really was. It literally was the same dialogue over and over. I was like, I already read these, so I just pressed skip. And finally, I guess we reached something new because we repeated it so many times. Okay. I think of running off. Somewhere far, far away. A place where you doesn't even exist. Nobody knows me there. For that moment, I'm happy. The next day, I go to see you with a bouquet of hydrangeas. Because I had such awful, selfish thoughts yesterday, he coughed up petals and cried. I am at fault. Yua is not here. It's no surprise. Coming here every day for me. I'm not worth it. I can't do anything right. Useless, useless, useless. The next day, my legs took me to the East Wing's 4th floor's hallway once more. Everything I did was on autopilot. Karma. I was not planning on talking to Yua. I was not planning on talking to anyone except you. I wanted to be left alone. Can we talk? But Yua has been good to me. They've heard me out, day after day. Even when I yelled at them to go away. I pushed them away over and over. For some reason, they stayed. For some reason, they haven't given up on me like everyone else has. Sure, we can talk. Yesterday you told me about the nightmare you had. That was yesterday? It feels like a month ago. A month ago feels like a week ago. I don't know where I am in time. You're scared that you will die because of you. That's why you're driving yourself sick. Yeah, but I'm fine. I'm okay. I assume you've read about the treatments for the disease? That's all I do when I'm not here. Then you know about the surgeries, and the transplants, and how they've been successful. Patients with Yu's disease have gone through successful lung surgeries, it's true. I read about it. And I read about it, and I read about it some more. The risks are too big. What if they don't work? If something goes wrong, you could die. Lung surgeries have so many risks: infections, bleeding, air leaks, damage to the lungs, the blood vessels, the nerves, even the heart. If Yu dies, it'll be my fault because I made him sick. Not to mention post-operatory complications. Some people don't ever wake up from anesthesia, and... You will look deep into my eyes as I blabbered on. Karma. I paused to breathe, and they put a hand on my shoulder. Do you really believe that? Or is that what you told you? If it were the you from 3 months ago, would you believe things you're saying? I don't know. The kind of person I was 3 months ago. 6 months, a year. You and the disease and how to make it better, the only things in my mind. All day. Every single day. I don't know. The Karma I was friends with would ask you to get the surgery. Because you always want what's best for your friends. That's the kind of person you are. How did you forget that, Karma? Yua's words were like a slap to my face. Your relationship with Yu is bringing out the worst from you both. I've watched you become lethargic, anxious, depressed. You isolated yourself from everyone who loves you. You stopped doing the things you enjoy. Please, Karma, think about it. A healthy relationship would not do this to you. I let Yua's words sink in. A healthy relationship? I know what that's supposed to be like. My parents have one. My friends too. I've seen them in books, movies, cartoons. I know what it is. It's because Speechless, I tried to find a way to explain myself. But Yua stopped me, shaking their head as if they knew what was going through my mind. Since when have I been this anxious? Doubting every little thing, thinking of the what-ifs and despairing over them. There's a few articles I'd like you to read. I'll send them to you. Take a look. I can't. What? Yu has my phone. The moment my words left my mouth, I noticed something that was supposed to be obvious. What? Why? My response was quiet, barely hearable. The realization embarrassed me. Because Yu needs to check my messages to see if I'm cheating on him. Something so simple. Yu has my phone. My freaking phone. I've watched movies where this exact thing happens, and I've laughed or gotten frustrated at the characters that let it happen. I've read books where the love-struck protagonists stay with the partners who steal their phones or constantly accuse them of cheating. It's me. It's so obvious, so stupid. Check the links I sent you when you get home, then. And I have some books you could borrow as well. Do you want them? I'm the idiotic protagonist who can't see the truth right before them. What the hell am I doing? Seriously, how did I let you do this? It's not normal. It's not something you do to a partner. Thank you, Yua. You've helped me already. So you're going home and resting and having a decent meal? No. There's something else I need to do first. Okay, I guess our only option is to talk to you. Dude, I was not expecting some random visual novel off itchio to be hitting me so hard in the trauma, you know? Oh, it's a little real. I really like the way that this whole story so far has been, scripted and progressed. I think it's very accurate, especially with the way Yua is approaching this whole subject. I think this is a very great representation for abuse victims, things like that, and people that have trauma within relationships. This is exactly how it plays out. You don't even notice it's happening. Just like the protagonist said, it's like you see these things in movies, like you think you know what's healthy, like you scream at the character in the movie and it's like, oh, you're so stupid for sticking around, but like it's so easy to be blinded and not realize that you are that stupid protagonist because it can feel so suffocating, you know? Anyways, I need to talk to you. I'm angry at myself for being so blind, and at you for doing this to me. Karma? I'll go rest, I promise. Sorry, Yua, it's my turn to lie. Alright, call me when send me an email or something when you get home. Of course. A myriad of memories returned to me then. I headed to room 402. Break up? Yes, I'm sorry, you, but I don't think this'll work out. But why? My flower said we're meant to be. This can't be true. No. I'd seen the signs slowly popping up as we spent time together. For now, I'd like to take a break from a romantic relationship with you. A break? You know that's not a thing. At first, you was sweet, kind, funny. I had fun being with him. We can still be friends. I don't want to lose the bond we have. But dating you was not what I expected it to be. It was his cuteness that I was attracted to, his kind, sweet personality. But I didn't really know him. I noticed not nearly as much as I knew Yua. Frankly, being with you was becoming a chore, an exhausting one. It was becoming too much for me to handle. I found myself no longer looking forward to talking or being near him as sweethearts. Planning dates or going out of my way to walk him home was not something I enjoyed anymore. How could you? The attraction I had towards him was superficial. By talking with you about it, I realized that what I wanted was for the three of us to go back to how we were before. You, listen to me. I thought if we hit pause on what was going on between us, we could take some time to rethink what we wanted. I just want my friend back. And that's when he got sick. Of course. Then it happened. You? What's going on? Are you okay? You began to cough aggressively. Strange things I couldn't take a good look at left his mouth as he heaved. I didn't understand back then what it meant. The disease, its symptoms, and the cause. Certainly that day, what you understood was that I didn't love him anymore. That's how we ended up here. Man, what an emotional roller coaster. And that's how I lost sight of what's important to me. It's okay, girl, it happens to the best of us. Gotta laugh to keep the tears from flowing. Pushing open the door, I entered Yu's hospital room. Karma, you're back. Not wasting a single moment more, I knew I had to say it now. We need to talk. Yu's eyes met mine, a mixture of surprise and curiosity flickering in his gaze. Talk? About what? I took a deep breath. About us, our relationship. Again, with this? If I let him, he won't let me get a word. It's not working, Yu, and we can't keep pretending everything's okay. Yu shifted uncomfortably in the bed, shaking his head. Yu, do you want me to die? You know you're killing me if you do this. I looked it up, you. There are some treatments that you could take part of. They're experimental, but they have good results. There are people with your illness who are living full lives and don't have to stay in hospitals. There's a surgery too, but the lungs. It's experimental, but it works. Even if we break up, or if something happens to me, you don't have to die, you. No, no, no! You coughed again and again. With a gasp, he managed to speak. No. How could you say that? Surgery? The one that could remove all of my emotions too? What? That's just a rumor. There's no cases where... Liar. Liar, liar, liar. You want me to suffer, don't you? All this time you've secretly hated me, haven't you? You want me to die. You do. Every fiber of my being wanted to scream. No, no, no. That's not it at all. But I recalled the articles I read and what you had taught me. It doesn't matter what I say. He's just going to twist it and find another way to make me out to be the bad guy. I don't want you to die, you. I want you to be okay. But I need to be okay too, and I'm not. Don't you see? I haven't been sleeping, talking to my friends, or even eating well. No, no. You reached over to one of the nightstands. I clenched my fists and gritted my teeth in frustration. We're not over. We're not breaking up. My words mean nothing to him, don't they? And that's not only your decision to... You? No. What the heck? Bro! We're not breaking up. We're not. I gasped at the sight before me. Take it back, or I'll die. You held a small knife to his neck. Right here, right now. No, no, you, please. Guilt. Panic. You're so mean to me, Karma. Calling me all those things, making up lies about me. You've made me so sad I want to die. I want to die so badly. I'm... You put me in the hospital. You made me so sick I can't get out of bed. I can't breathe. I can't play the piano. I'm stuck to this room. I have no one else but you. If anything, you're the abusive one, Karma. Ooh, that strikes too close to home. You're the one who ruined my life. What is this? I'm the bad guy. Because I made you go this far? Make him drop the knife. Make him stop. How? If you dies because of me, I don't know what to do with myself. Being responsible for someone's death is something I'll stay with you. I will. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. I don't know anything. I can't think of anything. Just please, drop the knife, okay? Give it to me. I love you. What am I without you? What kind of person was I before we started dating? You said you want to break up. I'm sorry, no, I don't want to break up. We'll stay together forever. If you love me, then say sorry. Apologize for saying I'm evil, for saying I'm the villain, that it's my fault you're unwell. Apologize for lying. Did I say that? Was I lying? Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. I just want you to drop the knife. I just want this to be over. I'm sorry for lying and for implying you said I'm evil. I'm sorry for saying you're evil. Please forgive me. I don't want you to die. I love you. I love you. Words as heavy as air, as meaningful as a passing wind. I love you, you. Don't die. Please, please. You eventually gave me the knife. By the time you calmed down, we were both sobbing. My head hurt. My eyes ached. I'm a terrible person. From that day on, you continued to get better, then worse, then better. There seemed to be no end to it. Over and over, the cycle started up again. In my head, I knew what was wrong. I knew that Yua had a point. I know that this isn't a healthy relationship. But whenever I showed my doubts, you would do it again. Again. We'd start from scratch the next day and continue where we left off. If I don't love him back, he'll die. If not from the disease. Oh no. This is heading such a dark route that I was not expecting this game to get this deep, but like I mentioned a couple times already, this hits really close to home and brings back a lot of not so nice feelings for me. Loves me not. Loves me not. Loves me. Wow, that's 6 times in a row. We really are fated soulmates. We'll never be apart. Right, sweetie? Karma, did you not hear me? Say that you love me. Say it. Say it. Right. What day is it? What was the last time I spoke to anyone else? I don't know. Say it. I love you, you. I love you. Say it or I could die. Do you want that to happen? No. I love you, you. Yay, I'm so happy. I love you too. Yua, they might have given up on me. But it's okay. I've given up on myself too. Man. Ending 2. That hurt. I was not prepared for this. This was not at all what I expected out of this game. And for that to be the ending, dude, that stings. Is someone that has been through this stuff before, you know? Ooh. Painful. Okay, well, there are 3 other endings for us to find. So I am going to pause the recording for a moment, and I'm gonna figure out where I want to go back to as a starting point in order to try to alter the timeline, you know? And we will go from there. So I will see y'all in just one sec. After consulting a guide on how to get the endings, it didn't like give you specific choices, but it kind of gave hints. So ending 2 I got because I stayed close to the twin and we stayed friends. So to get ending 1, I need to basically disagree with her a lot. So I guess I kind of need to go back and do all the same stuff except disagree with her every chance I get. So this is back whenever she's saying I need to talk to you about what's been going on. So I'm going to say I don't think so. Frankly, I wish I'd never attempted to break up with you, so we already had all this dialogue, so it'll let me skip through the stuff that I've already seen, thankfully. So then, now that I'm up to, again, another choice, I'll say what matters is that Yu's feelings were hurt. So basically, I have to side with Yu the entire time and constantly disagree with Yua. Yua's upset, and that's what's important. Yua moved their hands away from the table, and for a second I thought they were going to lean in to touch me. They hesitated, instead placing their hands on their lap. Okay, so this seems to be the same dialogue as well. I've learned to keep my mouth shut. Stupid people who make their partners cry shouldn't think twice before they speak. Okay, so we're good. So we have to continue to side with him, basically. So we'll say I feel the same way. So basically the same dialogue. Everything's exactly the same for the most part. And then we need to actively avoid Yua. So let's go to the cafeteria instead of the roof. Hey, did you hear what they're planning for the patient at room 402 over at the East Wing? That's the one with the rare illness. Still not out? And that's it. I heard the new scans show that the lungs are in even worse shape. I hear it, but don't understand it. I'm tired. Excuse me, are you okay? I walk to my usual table. Nobody stops me. Hospital food is completely tasteless. When was it that I last ate? It's noisy. I can't focus on anything. My brain's in a constant foggy blur. I don't know what's a dream and what's reality anymore. Beef stroganoff again? I can't eat this anymore. Nostalgic. I think of the past and I furiously wish that I could go back and forget everything that happens after. I think of the past and for just a second, I feel something other than numbness. I'm recalling. It looks so much darker than it was before. Is this a different cutscene? I don't know, I just feel like all the flashbacks were brighter in the other version. Karma. A day when it was just the two of us. Yeah? At that point, I was already thinking of asking him out. Yeah, this is definitely new. He was cute. We got along well, and he would chat over the phone for hours at a time. I had fun being with you. With you and you. But I also wanted to spend time alone with him. I'm really happy to be here with you. Thank you. It was a crush. I wanted it to be more than that. Me too. Hey. I wanted to know more and more about you. Can I ask you something? Of course, anything. I even looked up what kind of questions to ask the person you're crushing on. I really, really did like you. What is it? Okay, so I guess here's... more options? So, what's your family like? It's me, my dad, and Yua. What does your dad do? Yua hesitated for a moment before responding. He works at an office, accounting stuff. We don't do much together because he's always working a lot. And he likes Yua more. Yua added that part quietly, scratching the nape of his neck. Why do you say that? He just does. We're not close. Family was a delicate subject for you. Yua too never liked to talk too much about it. I decided not to bring it up anymore. Instead, I offered him a small smile. What is it? What are your dreams? Like, what do you want to achieve in the future? I'm trying to get a music scholarship. That's awesome. Your smile faltered, replaced by a sad expression that pulled at my heartstrings. I don't know if it'll happen, though. I'm not that good. You're really good. Everyone loves it when you play the piano. I'm sure you'll get it. Thank you, Karma. I needed that. It would be nice if we could go to the same university. He didn't answer my question, though. It sounds like he's going for the scholarship just... for what? To me, it sounded like he was pursuing the scholarship more out of obligation than genuine passion. Is it really a dream? What? Do you actually want the scholarship? You want to keep studying music and stuff? The silence fell between us, thick and suffocating, as you struggled to find the right words to respond. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Forget it. I backpedaled hastily, realizing too late that the hurt my words had caused. Stupid. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Even back then, I hurt him with my stupid, thoughtless words. What is it? Why do you like the piano? Because, I don't know, I just play it. But why did you start to play it? A sad smile flitted across his lips as he spoke, his gaze distant for a blink of a second. My mom took me to lessons when I was smaller. She played it too. She wanted me to play just like her. So you've been playing for a while. Yeah. Yo used to take lessons too, but not anymore. They never liked it much. They'd rather ask our dad for more money to buy tiny ducks. That sounds like Yua. Yua was what got us together. At some point, I realized that the conversation would always circle back to them. But what about you? What is it? I guess we unlocked a new question. What else do you like to do in your free time? What else? Other than fortune telling and playing the piano, any other hobbies? Fortune telling's just something I do because I'm always so anxious. It's not really a hobby. And I play the piano because it's what I do, I guess. When we go out, I do whatever Yule wants to do. I don't do much else. Oh, I see. I was hoping to get some ideas for possible dates with him. But it seemed that Yu was caught in a cycle of routine and obligation, with little room for exploration or excitement. But I'd go anywhere you'd like. It would be really fun. With you, Karma. I think I'd like that. A blush rose to my cheeks. Yu's heartfelt confession made a warmth spread through my chest. His sincerity was one of the things I liked the most about him. Me too. What is it? Well, I guess that's everything. Enough. Can I ask you questions now? Sure. Yay, this is fun. We stayed at school asking each other questions, chatting and goofing off for hours. We got told off by a teacher even. It was fun. I really did have a lot of good moments with you back then. But not so much anymore, I guess. And all things considered, you know. I want everything to go back to how it was. I lost track of time. I go to see you with a bouquet of hydrangeas. You cry since Dreamska did something wrong. Okay, so this is gonna go into the loop again. So, continuous loop, and now we're back here. The next day, my legs took me to the East Wing's 4th floor's hallway once more. Everything I did was on autopilot. Karma, I was not planning on talking to you. Okay, have we already been... Is this dialogue the same? I was not planning on talking to anyone except you. I wanted to be left alone. Can we talk? I don't need you. I don't need anyone. Nobody understands me. No. Leave me alone. All you do is try to keep you and I apart. I don't like you. I refuse to meet Yua's gaze, my eyes fixed firmly on the floor. I tried to help you. Yua murmured their response softly. But now I understand. I can't save you. You're the one who has to take action. I headed to room 402. I hope you realize that. Although the relationship was good once, you can't go back. The only way is out. I headed to room 402. Goodbye, Karma. I headed to room 402. I guess we see what happens. Oh, just kidding, another flashback. Well, I'll eat my lunch at the rooftop then. What? Don't go, Yua. Yeah, stay with us. But you two are dating now. I don't want to be a third wheel. I heard my cat jingling in the background, Penelope's collar. Or have to watch you get all mushy and touchy. Ew. What are you talking about? You're part of this. Yeah, and we won't get mushy. We're not like that. Unless Karma wants to. What? Nothing. You don't want me around for this. It's fine. We do want you here. It's thanks to you that we found each other. Right, you? Yua, you gotta stay. And after class, we should go shopping together. But that's a date. I know you're shy, but you can't go on dates with you. It's not because I'm shy. I want all three of us to keep going along like this. And someone's gotta keep your duck addiction in check. Oi. I can't leave my little sibling alone. You're 15 minutes older. Well, fine. But I'm not leaving the moment you two start getting gross. But I am leaving, sorry. That's UAE is for I'm happy to be with my friends. Quiet. There was a time when everything was good and peaceful. I didn't cry every day. I wasn't scared of speaking. We were happy together once. Now I don't know how to smile in front of him. Something changed. Perhaps I did something wrong. That must be it. All I do is make mistake after mistake. I hurt everyone around me. I made my partner sick. I'm to blame for the end of those happy days. Karma, I like you. Yeah, I said it. It's all my fault. Mine. It is not your fault, girl. Trust me. Hi, Karma. Hi. Don't scream at me. Please. Don't cry. I can't handle it anymore. You're looking thin. You have to eat well, okay? What kind of person was I before this? If you die before me, I'll be all alone. Everything I do is for you. Everything I stop doing is for you's sake. But he's still sick. It's never enough. I have to become a better person. I have to love them more. I love you, you. A meaningless mantra. I love you too, Karma. The scent of hydrangeas never leaves this room. I want to throw up. Let's be together forever. I want to go to sleep. It would be fine if I never woke up. It would be great if everything could stop. Tomorrow it'll happen again. I'll come see you, and he'll smile and utter sweet, meaningless words. And as if nothing happened the previous day, I'll put the bouquet of hydrangeas by his bedside. Or else, you know, the cycle goes on and on and on and on. I might die. God. Rest in peace. Okay, well, a new ending has been unlocked. Talk to your friend. Okay, so a new ending has been unlocked. So by default, only endings 1 and 2 are achievable. According to the guide, now we've unlocked ending 3. So we have to complete ending 3, and after completing ending 3, we will unlock the 4th and true ending. There's apparently actually a 5th secret ending, but it didn't give me any information, but I will try to find that too. So, I did not mean to start. I don't want to start again. Okay, can I, like, reload a save? Let's reload this one. Oh, I guess from my first save where we have to talk to you. Oh, I loaded it and now I have an extra dialogue option now. Okay, so rather than just saying I need to talk to you, I've now unlocked the ability to say I need to know why you is being like this. I ask you with a question in my mind. Is there something, like, did you go through something when you two were younger? You will open their mouth to speak, and then closed it. I'm sorry, stupid question. I shouldn't have asked. I'll shut up now. No, Karma, I'm just thinking. It's fine. I don't believe them. I shouldn't have said a thing. Everything I say upsets someone. Why am I so stupid? Karma. You stood in front of me and poked my shoulder. Huh? Sorry. I blinked away the tears that were threatening to spill from my eyes and cleared my throat with a cough. Remember when I said I can't bring myself to see you because I'm being reminded of some bad memories? I shook my head. I'm sorry, my brain's a complete mess. I can barely remember what day of the week it is. How many days has it been since the hospitalization? I don't know. Everything is mushed together and blended into one. It wasn't like this before. I really did have a decent memory, I think. You aside. They looked around the hallway. It was relatively empty. You might have learned it from our parents. I tilted my head. There was a nasty, terrible divorce. We were too young to understand what was happening back then, and I only know now because Dad told me about it. The woman who gave birth to us was... Seeming to lack the words to express themselves, Yua made a motion with her hands. No, I'll spell it out. Mom was verbally, psychologically, and emotionally abusive. She was horrible to him. And to us, too. When Dad wasn't around, we'd be the ones on the receiving end instead. I'm sorry. I had no idea you went through that. I knew their parents were divorced, but not about their mother. You told me nice things about her, just some memories, nothing like that. Yua nodded. She was always accusing him of cheating, even hired a PI and followed him around while he was out. You get the gist. She threatened to leave him, or end her own life. Cry, scream, blame everything on him. All to keep my dad close to her. Yua took a deep breath, biting their lower lip. For a moment, I thought they would start to cry. We were just kids. But Yua did not spill any tears. They continually talked mechanically, as if reading off a list of ingredients. She learned that the best way to get to him was to use us. A pause. One time, you forgot to give the Mother's Day card we had made in school. Mom took it personally. She was awful to him. The entire day, she'd sprinkle in small comments that implied she would kill herself if she didn't get a card. Oh God, that's horrible. You tried to talk to her, telling her over and over again that she loved her. Give her a different present. Oh. See, the pronouns are messed up here again. Okay, the pronouns are still messed up. Like I said, there's definitely been some typos, grammatical issues, and problems with the pronouns, but it's okay. But nothing worked. She wanted the card. I just wanted her to stop, so I scribbled up a card, signed it with Yu's name, and gave it to her. Yua stopped again. They swallowed and put a hand on their forehead. We were just kids. I put a hand on their shoulder. Yua still stood firm, even in the face of such horrible recollections. See, Karma? Threats, manipulation, guilt-tripping. Growing up, that was the only example of romantic love we had. Two implications hung in the air. First, the answer to the mystery of why Yua always rejected those who confessed to them. Second, about you and I. Okay. Instead of responding, I changed the focus back to their mother. Do you guys ever see her? Your mom? No. There's a restraining order. And an order of protection. Oh God. We haven't heard from her in years. There's a court case that's been going on for ages. Yua continued telling them all the awful things that their mother did to them and you, and how their family's still struggling to recover. It's horrible, and it feels like that's not even half of it. Some of those sounded familiar to me, but something in me refused to acknowledge it. You, reaching the point where no one would need to get a restraining order against him. Reaching the point where one would need to get a restraining order against him. I can't see it. Can't. I've never talked about this out loud with anyone before. Yua leaned against the wall and smiled weakly. You and your dad, you don't talk about the past? No. Nowadays, we pretend that it never happened. Just like how you and I have been doing things. Never talking about what upsets us, pretending everything's fine the next day. Karma, thanks for hearing me out. I feel stronger. I don't know why, but I attempted to smile at them. You've always helped me out, even when I pushed you away. It's only fair I do the same for you. I'm really sorry you went through all that. You've been really strong, Yua. Yua widened their eyes in surprise. Strong. A minute of silence went by as we stood there by the wall. Nurses and patients passed by, looking at us curiously. It's a matter of time before the usual nurse comes to kick us out. This conversation doesn't feel real, nor do the doubts going through my mind. What if he was right, and Yu is imitating his mother? How far will this go? I don't know. I've been unable to tell between what's reality and what's in my head for some time now. Because it was Yua who broke the silence. I'm going to talk to you. What? With a determined expression on their face, Yua turned to look in the direction of Yu's room. We need to talk about it, about Mom, and what she did to us. The sudden decision caught me off guard. But what if Yu gets upset? He will. No, you don't get it. If Yu gets upset, his illness will worsen. It's happened before. More like it happens every single time. That's why I can't do anything to hurt him. I have to make him happy. Karma, go home. You need to sleep. No, I have to see you. The sentence came out of my mouth automatically. It was something I said to myself when I woke up, every single day. What's wrong with me? I'm going instead, alright? I'll talk to him and make him understand why what he's doing to you is wrong. I've been thinking, if things had been a little different, I might have been in his shoes instead, and he in mine. If he remembers how it was with Mom, he might understand. The words idealistic went through my mind then. Yua. We have to be the ones to break the generational cycle. Cycle? They didn't look back, nor did they respond. For the first time since the hospitalization, Yua's going to see you. I should be happy, or excited, or even nervous. I should be cheering my friend on for doing something that takes so much courage. Oh? But all I felt was fear. Fear that after it was all over, you would put the blame on me. And I would have to apologize over and over again. Somehow, this is my fault. It always is. I hear the clock ticking. I could not move. Since Yua left, I don't even know how long I've been unable to get out of this spot. Looking down to the floor, terrified. It's not going to end well. It's going to be my fault. You will get mad at me. 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 Oh, okay, dude, having a mental breakdown. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. Chill, girl, chill. Oh, my lord. A door slamming. Footsteps. Why does everything look so dark? Yua struggling to head my way, hugging themselves with their head down. Yua? Quiet. No response. Yua, what happened? It didn't go well, of course it didn't. I should have stopped Yua. It's my fault. Oh no. I can't do this. A loud heaving sob. Yua's voice shook in a way I'd never heard before. The usually calm and collective Yua. This is a dream. You is just... He's just like Mom. Just like her. A nervous bout of laughter escaped their mouth. I thought I escaped her. But from the piano to the flowers to love, you're identical. Another sob. I need you to tell me that I'm wrong. I'm imagining things. This is not Yua. Yua does not break down in tears and fall to their knees. Yua does not grit their teeth like this. Yua does not turn their head back and forth in fear. Yua, don't cry. Get away. Shh. It's okay. I forgive you. Let's forget what happened. Do you listen to yourself? Yua does not like hugs. Not from me. Not from you. You can't be mean to me. I'm your family. But I forgive you. Everyone makes mistakes. Yua does not shake and cry and whimper. Aww. There. I still love you even though you made a huge mistake. Dude, he is a master gaslighter. No matter how much you hurt me, I'll always love you, Yua. Poor Yua. I thought to myself, I'm not strong. Never have been. From the start, I've been a weakling who can't stand up for herself. I'm sorry, Yua. You. How did they say it again? Earlier. Breaking the generational cycle. I can't do that. Not me. Tomorrow it'll happen again. I'll come see you, and he'll smile and utter sweet, meaningless words. As if nothing happened. I'll put the bouquet of hydrangeas by his bedside. Ending 3. Aww. Well, that does mean that the true ending is unlocked now. A new ending has been unlocked. Start over. Okay, well I guess it gave me the hint to start over from there. Okay, so I will restart and see if anything is different? I guess, from the beginning? Okay, I got the flowers. There's no need to be nervous. As I walked up to the fourth floor, I was greeted by the sight of a mostly empty hallway. Okay, we'll use previous customization. Okay, that's fine. You was staying in room 402, so I guess we can skip through some of this dialogue. Oh, okay, well here's our first new dialogue option. Why hydrangeas? So this is when we first see him in the hospital room. Ah, it's because of my mom. You perked up, bringing her hand. Oh, see, here's a pronoun issue again, bringing her hands. It should be his. Mom would always gift me and you some hydrangeas when we were sad. And when we were outside, she'd bring us to a little flower shop and take us to make a bouquet with her. It always made us stop crying and forget all the upsetting things. What a sweet memory. Yus told me about his mom before, and a bit about his dad. But it's always been very vague, and it gave me the feeling that he didn't like talking about his family. You would too. I wonder why. I love my mom. I miss her a whole lot. You can't see her because of the divorce? You visibly saddened, his lower lip trembling. Yeah, Dad won't let me. Why not? He shrugged slightly, a small emotion I almost didn't notice. The divorce was really, really bad. Before it was finalized, you and I got split up, and they stayed with our dad and I with Mom. Then he furrowed his brows in annoyance. Dad put all kinds of awful things in Yua's head. He was so mad at Mom, he wanted to make Yua hate her too. And he did it. When I went back to live with him, Yua didn't want to hear a thing about Mom. Now I don't get along with Dad. It's because of him that our family got split up. I wish the family could be together again, like before, the four of us. We were all so happy. I nodded along to Yu's story. He clearly misses his mom. I hope that he can find a way to see her again someday. Aww. Well, hopefully that'll help him wisen up to what he's done. A lot of things happened afterwards. I found myself living inside some kind of loop. Doing something wrong, feeling extremely guilty, receiving a gift, and then thinking from then on everything would be fine again. But it always starts all over again. I don't know what day it is, how long it's been since the hospitalization. Nothing. Yua tells me it's the cycle of abuse. They've heard me out day after day. Even when I yell at them to go away, I push them away, over and over. Your relationship with you is bringing out the worst from you both. I've watched you become lethargic, anxious, depressed. You isolated yourself from everyone who loves you. You stopped doing the things you enjoy. Since when have I been this anxious? Doubting every little thing, thinking of the what-ifs and despairing over them. I read books where the love-struck protagonists stay with partners who steal their phones or constantly accuse them of cheating. I'm the idiotic protagonist who can't see the truth right before her. What the hell am I doing? Seriously, how did I let you do this? It's not normal. It's not something you do to a partner. I don't remember how long ago it was, but you told me a bit about your mother. What? About how she gifted you hydrangeas when you two were sad. It sounds like you misses her a lot. But before I could finish, an expression I'd never seen contorted Yu's features into one of anger. What the fuck? The hydrangeas? Are you serious? I cowered in fear. So stupid, I made someone mad again. I might not be remembering it exactly. My memory's been really bad lately. Desperation crept into my voice. Please don't yell at me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. I'm really sorry. Yua rushed past me. Where are you going? I'm sorry. The sound of a door slamming open reverberated through the hallway. I have a feeling he's been faking it this whole time. Like, this sounds really messed up, but before I, pause and go further, because this is the true ending, I had kind of a feeling there was some kind of dialogue in my first playthrough. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it made me feel kind of sussed out, because she said specifically he was coughing up hydrangea petals. And then the way it was phrased, it was specifically hydrangea petals, exactly like the ones I brought him earlier today. And so it made me think, is it possible that Yu is like completely manipulating us? And so he just like grabs, because remember, he's been plucking the petals, the like whole she loves me, she loves me not, she loves me, she loves me. So he has lots of these petals. So anytime something bad happens, he just starts fake coughing and then like, holding petals like, oh no, I coughed up flower petals. So that's my theory before we go further. I could be completely off, but before I continue and actually see what's happening, I just wanted it to be said that that's my theory in case I'm correct, so I can say I told you so. As the door swung inward, Yua barged into the room. Huh? Yu yelped in shock. Yua? What the hell is wrong with you? Yua slammed their hands against one of the walls. Yu cried out in distress, turned to me with wide, frightened eyes. Karma, help me. I don't know what's going on, but Yua, you have to calm down. No, Karma, this doesn't concern you. Yua snapped, their gaze locked onto Yu with an intensity I never thought they were capable of showing. They approached Yu's bed. With each movement, Yu instinctively recoiled, tucking himself against the wall. Yua, stop it! Don't hurt me! Do you not remember? Can you not see it? I don't understand. As they stood before Yu, their fists clenched at their sides, a visible tremor ran through Yua's body. The last time we got hydrangeas from Mom. They took another shaky step forward, their eyes locked on Yu. Right before the divorce, do you remember when it was you? No, Mom was a great person. She loved us, and we... And you're one to talk. What's wrong with me liking Mom's flowers? You got a duck from Dad once, and you made it your whole life. Why can't I like flowers? It has nothing to do with that. Yua's voice erupted into a primal scream that crashed through the very walls of the room. An emotion that had been building in intensity until it reached a deafening level. Try to remember. I'm begging you. Try. Why did Mom give us flowers? Think about it. Dad had gone out to drink to run away from her. It was one of her bad days, remember? We were alone. Mom was standing in front of us. For a brief moment, the words seemed to stand still. With the knife pressed against her neck, Mom said it. If you don't tell Mommy you love her... No! Yu screamed, shutting up his twin. Stop it, Yua, I don't want to hear that. What did she give us after she came back from the hospital? The same gift she always gave every single time, as if it would erase what she had done. I widened my eyes. Yua's gaze was settled on the object next to Yu. The bouquet of hydrangeas I'd given him the day before. Every single time Mom did something horrible, she'd give us gifts. She'd never apologize, but it was her way of saying, look at how nice I am, forget about yesterday. Rinse and repeat, over and over again. That sound familiar to you too? Yu said nary a word. Quiet, he looked down at his lap. Are you trying to break us up, Yua? Yes. Yua's shoulders shook. You two can't stay together. Not like this. Do you want me to die then? Without Karma, my disease will get worse. The flowers in my lungs will grow until I can't function anymore. I'm sick and dying. But I guess you must be happy to see your annoying brother finally gone. Of course not, you're my brother. That's why it hurts so much to see you acting just like her. In shock at Yua's outburst, I found myself unable to move from the spot. When we were kids, you were the ones who protected me. You kept me away from the monster, remember? You pretended that we were in a game of hide and seek, and had me hide while she took out her emotions on you instead of me. You taught me how to recognize when she was having a bad day, the clinking of her heels as she got home. You created a secret code word for me to know when it was time to pretend to be asleep. Yua recounted memories of a childhood fraught with fear and uncertainty. Memories Yua had never alluded to. Not to me. All I could do was listen. Listen to the feelings and memories Yua had. What happened to that you? My brother who'd put himself on the line for me. Yua's voice cracked with sorrow, aching for the brother they'd lost somewhere along the way. You're like this, but you're my brother. Watching Karma become like Dad, and you like Mom, I can't do it anymore, you. Yua finally let out years' worth of her repressed emotions. They released a torrent of pent-up memories that had been building within them for far too long. I was unable to take my eyes away from them. I wanted to comfort them, to hug them. But the sob that came out of Yu's mouth then stopped me in my tracks. He too must be recalling those very same memories. My friends had been holding out on such painful experiences all this time, and I had no idea. For the first time, Yu was left speechless. His tears flowed freely now. Not the same tears that would appear in the corner of his eyes when he screamed at me. No, those were tears of extreme sorrow. What? Yu's tears fell in a steady stream, tracing a path down his cheeks. Yua stood by his side, their own tears mingling with those of their brother. No words were exchanged between them. In the midst of the tears, Yua turned their head to look at me. Leave, Karma. Leave and don't come back until you're ready. He did not react or speak against Yua's order. He looked down at his hands, his lower lip trembling as they held back more tears. I'm sorry. I was shocked, yes. I braided myself for not recognizing the extent of their suffering sooner. Once I realized that, and as I heard Yua talk about the past, an unsettling realization came over me. It was a gnawing sense of unease, a creeping awareness. I've become apologetic, consumed by guilt. I find myself shouldering the blame for everything, unable to muster a smile anymore. This wasn't how it used to be. There'd been a time when laughter had rung through the classroom where we met. There'd been a time where we'd talk and chat and joke around so freely and easily. At some point, you became everything that mattered to me, and more. His disease and its symptoms, my biggest enemy. Before I had relationships, I had a lifestyle. I had goals. They seem so irrelevant now, so disconnected from who I am, from who I've become. I can't do this anymore. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm living for. Aww. Is that the end? No, there's a little more left. Our graduation's coming up this year, huh? Right. Still a while to go, though. Don't say it. I'm nervous already. If I don't do well on next semester's finals, I'll be left behind. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet when we leave. Something about helping people, maybe? It would fit you, Karma. You're always so kind. Especially to us. But if I don't pass the tests, we'll be separated. You've panicked about the tests enough. There's no point to worry about exams that'll happen in approximately 7 months. Right, Karma? Yeah, it's okay, you. Don't fret about it. There's plenty of time. And if you need help, we can study together. Oh, yeah. Really? Yeah. Really? Even though I'm so antsy and stuff, you'd hang out with me? What? There. You're too cute not to want to hang out with. Huh? Get a room, you two. No, Yua, don't go. I'm too nervous. You're so noisy. What I meant to ask was, what are you guys doing after graduation? You're gonna study music, right? And Yua, you can get into a good university with your grades. Med school? Not med school. Med students have no life. If I'm gonna sell 4 years of my life to studying something, it has to at least be something that won't bore me to sleep. Duckology? Shush. Yu's gonna try for a scholarship, I think. You? My head. She patted my head. Earth to you. Thanks, Karma. You broke him. Sorry, I didn't mean to. You, help me fix him. What? Why me? It's your mess. Because you're super smart and you know everything? Teach me your wise knowledge, master. Shut up, smartass. The dreams we talked about. The classroom. The cool, calm Yua. And the you I'd fallen for. The truth is, I wanted all of us to go to the same university. Then we'd keep in touch when we entered the workforce. I had a job that would help me help people. There was a time that I wanted that. We'd visit each other's families, even as we grew too busy to spend as much time together. The mere thought of our conversations filled me with a bittersweet longing. I think of the person I was before, and I mourn her. Now, I'm all so far away. There's nothing left. Nothing. No, there's still stuff left. No, don't lose hope. Karma, is that you? It's been a while. I haven't seen you around here since. Yeah. Can I go in? Of course. You will be happy to see you. He does not look happy. Entering the room, the searing feeling of pure guilt that enveloped me almost shook away all of my confidence. Yu was laying down, motionless. There were times when his condition got worse, but this time it was truly terrible. Pale and thin, Yu was unmoving, his breaths shallow and labored. Tubes and wires snaked across his body, new ones that weren't there the last time I'd seen him. Karma? I was afraid that this would happen. I still am, but I need to do this. Yu, we're breaking up. Yu's eyes widened in shock. What? Karma, I held up my hand, cutting off the protests before they could take root. No, you're going to let me speak. We're in an abusive relationship. You have issues. Issues that have nothing to do with me. I can't fix you, Yu. Yu's expression crumbled and tears welled up in his eyes. His shoulders shook with each ragged breath. Watching him come undone before my eyes, his pain laid bare for me to see, I thought. What a familiar sight. Past days I haven't been here, I've come to so many realizations. My friends, my family, how much I isolated myself from them. I ignored my health, I missed out on school. Attempting to reconnect with them and learning to take care of myself again has been incredibly difficult. I've talked a lot with Yua. They introduced me to your dad. You know, I was horrified. We looked nothing alike, but it was as if I was looking at a mirror. Hey, did you know from the start that I'm a weak person? That I take things in and worry until I drive myself sick? Did you fall in love with me because you knew you'd be able to manipulate me like your mother did? No. You and Yua's dad. There's a quiet man carrying a permanent sad frown. Apologetic, skittish, and constantly explaining himself. A man who's still trying, to this day, to go back to how he was before. Before he fell in love with their mom. Before he began to believe he was seeing and hearing things. Before he lost all his confidence and self-esteem. I've been seeing a therapist, at this hospital actually. You should see one too. It was a wake-up call. I looked at him and I thought, that's not the life I dreamt of. That's not how I want to be 5 to 10 years from now. Forever bound to use whims and tears, apologizing and crying and begging for forgiveness. Goodbye, Yu. It's enough. Karma? No, don't! Karma! Well, I'm sorry, buddy. You figured out on your own. Don't go. I'll die. I shook my head, even laughed a little. It's all so obvious to me. Yu's understanding of love is so warped, he can't see something so simple. It wasn't love. It has to be mutual love, Yu. It was guilt. Guilt and a longing for things to go back to normal. The only thing keeping us together. Even if I stayed, it would not be mutual. That's not love. Love isn't supposed to hurt either one of us to this extent. And I don't want to stick around and try to see if it would change. In a year? 2 years? What a joke. You. There's no way I can love you now. My eyes are wide open to what you has been doing to me. No, don't leave me. The thought of, if I try a little harder, he'll get better. That it's not on me to fix you. You has to take care of himself. And I. Karma. 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 Goodbye. I'm taking the first step to take care of me. Well, good for you. Good for you. I think that's a really good true ending. Man, this entire game was such a ride. Good grief. I guess do we get the credits now? Is that what this is, now that we've completed them all? It said something about there being a secret, but I don't know where the secret is. Also, is it like burning? Is this supposed to be like a photograph burning through? I don't know. I guess we'll sit through the end, though. I always make sure to sit through the credits, especially when it's a small indie game like this. I was not expecting to be hit so hard in the feels. Like, this is a really deep game. Like, 10 out of 10. Great, amazing job to all the people that worked on this. Like, the only complaints I have would just be, you know, there was some grammatical mistakes, spelling mistakes, pronoun issues, but those are very small and can be easily fixed. But content-wise, this was fantastic. It hit me very deep, and I'm sure a lot of people will probably feel the same if they play this or even watch playthroughs of it, like this video here. Okay. Are the credits over? Oh. Alright. So what's this? Several years have passed since then. I've moved on with my life. It's been difficult. Therapy is tough. Recognizing what happened was tougher. What occurred to me back then was now a memory that only came back in specific moments, instead of a constant nightmare at the back of my mind. But for that to happen, I had to make some difficult choices. Letting go of you was one of them. We had attempted to continue where we left off, but I discovered that even simply keeping in touch via text was painful. Oh, I guess here's another mistake, because I chose you to be my sweetheart, so this should say you. For me, every interaction reminded me of those days where I didn't eat, didn't sleep, and refused any help from my loved ones. So we grew apart. I wonder if you have felt the same way. They haven't attempted to reconnect either. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, I began to forge a new path forward. Still, it's not easy. Some days I remember little things such as the music he liked, food he ate with me, or places we went together. Since I came to associate with him, there are times when I think I'm over it, and then it returns. Passing by the colorful display window of a flower shop, the moment the faint scent of hydrangeas blows by, it all feels like it's still happening. The good, the bad, the bittersweet, and the unforgettable. Oh, we get the option to forgive him? I've come to forgive you. I've forgiven you. I understand why he did what he did. You had no other examples in his life of what a healthy relationship looked like. I understand and I forgive him. Some people who I've briefly told the story to insisted I had to forgive you. That I'd never find peace or whatever that means if I didn't forgive him. I disagree. I did forgive him, but not because of that kind of thinking. I forgive you because I understand why it happened, how it happened. I can empathize with his suffering. Oh look, it's both of them together. Everyone has a different way of finding peace. Perhaps you and you have forgiven their mother. Perhaps not. Maybe they did and now regret it. Maybe they didn't but desperately want to. Where are they now? Crying of happiness? Drowning in despair? It's not my place to wonder. I've moved on. As we take different paths in life, I I'm proud of what I was able to stand up for myself that day. And then we get a nice close-up on you. I'll find my own new way of loving. I guess my body's blocking the text. And there's you, our friend, Mom did not get better, but I will. Well, I wish them the best. I will be okay. Thank you for playing. It was a pleasure. We still have one secret to find somewhere, though. So I guess I am going to try to find that now. I have no idea where I'll even start, but, yeah. I will get back to you guys on that. Oh, thank you for playing, Hydrangea. Check out the people who helped make this game possible. Okay, so here's all of names. Okay, and I will go hunt for that secret, so BRB. Okay, so after beating the game, closing it, I noticed that we have a couple new files that have popped up inside our game folder. 5 in particular. There is feelings.txt, 1.txt, 2.txt, 3.txt, and 4.txt. So this first one I have right here is called feelings. The other 4 I'm assuming correspond to each ending, because, you know, we got 4 different endings. I hope this letter makes sense, because honestly, my mind is in a weird space, and I need to get it out. I can't shake this feeling that everything is slipping away, like the ground beneath my feet is turning into quicksand. You're a huge part of my sanity, and lately, it feels like I'm on the brink of losing it. The idea of not having you around freaks me out. It's getting harder to distinguish between what's real and what's in my head. Your absence messes with my head, and I can't shake the feeling I'm unraveling. You're one thing that's been keeping me grounded, and the thought of losing that grip terrifies me. Maybe you can make sense of this right now, but I'm not sure I can. I don't know what these numbers mean yet, but maybe we'll get some more clarity with the others. So this is 1.txt. I don't have anything else going for me other than the piano. I made it such a huge part of my personality. It was all I did when I realized why. I wanted to stop breathing. There's nothing else in me. Nothing worthy. Nothing good. Nothing lovable. Until I met you. I see. Number 2. This is love. The love I've been searching for. I found it. I'm happy that even I can be loved. Someone like me who's a bad child. Stay with me. Number 3. Dad was drunk when he ran off with his mistress, so it was just Mom and us. I said something a good child wouldn't say, and she got mad. She put us through the I love you test again, and it went great. The staining on the knife took a long time to come out, but I cleaned and cleaned it. When Mom comes back, she'll put us through the test again. I love you, I love you, I love you. Please don't die. Okay, well here's a number here, which is the 0.3. What does 4 say? Thank you. Okay, so I'm assuming the secret's gonna have something to do with these numbers in these files. Because honestly, pardon my... So all of these say 2, but then we have like some number 3s here. Maybe should they like all be turned to number 3 or all be number 2 or something? I don't know. I'm gonna play around and see if I can figure something out. Well, it seems like I just kind of overthink things too much, and changing the values didn't really alter anything in the game. But either way, I still think it's a super cool Easter egg to have all of the little notes that kind of bring a little more depth to the whole story and the ending and stuff like that. I think this was a fantastic gem, and I'm so glad that I played it and actually took the time to play all of the endings. I think that this game was a heavy hitter from the first go, but it's so much better, especially once you try out all of the endings collectively. I know this has been a really long video, but I really appreciate you for sticking around if you're still here. If you haven't already, go ahead and leave a subscribe, like, comment, whatever. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you guys again sometime soon. So, bye everyone.